Hello and welcome to an emergency podcast for Accurate Basketball. That's because it's opening day, big exciting day, and there were a lot of cool games that went on. Lots of good action. We got a good look at all of our teams today for the first time. If you watched that game, one game that I watched the first half of that I wish I would have continued watching. I tuned back in at the last 2 minutes. A team that I slept on. Dad, you kind of hyped them up for the preseason talk that we had. The North Florida Ospreys ended up defeating the South Carolina Gamecocks 74-71, and it was a late end of the game charge too. It was in the last 3.5 minutes that they ended up taking that lead back off of Josiah Mills 3. But the player of the game today, Dad, 20 minutes, so he had a good contribution roll off the bench, but he ended up getting 14 points in those 20 minutes. He had 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. That would be Liam Murphy. Dad, you talked about him being the X factor for this team in our preseason talk. What was it in your research that drew you to calling him that?
Right. Yeah, I mean, good for him. It's always fun when something you think you might read about or that hits your eye seems to at least come true, at least for one game, right? You count for that. The main thing I thought about him as I researched him was the fact that he missed last year and so hungry, seemed to come back healthy, recovered through his injuries, and but had a great season the year before. 12 points per game, 5 rebounds per game. I'm reading okay, he's this guy, and he was shot 36% from 3-point land. So I'm thinking, here's a situation. Come to a new school, kind of refresh yourself, come back healthy, and can make an impact on a team. In fact, Coach Driscoll even really pumped him up too. Quote I was reading about him: he exudes energy, effort, with every aspect of life, not just on the basketball court. I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, but just that passion that he had. I think Driscoll says that about everybody, but that's something that just grabbed my eye. It really was here's a situation where maybe he might hit the ground running. I think 20 minutes is a good number too to start him off, being that he coming back from injury. And right. Clearly, I didn't see the game, but seems like a good starting point. But obviously he drained some. 4 out of 8 from behind the arc.
Well, yeah. So I watched the first half, as I mentioned, and I saw his first time he stepped up on the floor for the team, and he was a spark plug for the team. The team was competing with South Carolina the entire, but as soon as he came on, he got an easy bucket down low off of a pass. Then he ended up shooting 2 really good threes, and that, I believe, put him ahead. And then he ended up getting a steal right after that. And so he contributed right away. He brought the energy. And obviously, North Florida didn't end up falling out of this game. They were down after the first. They were down by 5. Kind of in that last, I would say, the 5 to 2 minute range of the first quarter, they seemed to fall behind a little bit. And then they ended up fighting back and went into the second down 5. And obviously it contributed. As I said, I only got in for the last about 3 minutes left, 4 minutes left. I saw the Miles 3 that ended up putting them up, and then they just had control of the game from there. So it was very impressive tonight from UNF, competing against a SEC team. Not something I expected. I'm sure not a lot of the world expected it. It's definitely an upset. Dad, you seem to have it right a little bit when it came to, this team might be a lot better than people think. Good call on your preseason poll, at least for game 1. We'll see what happens as the season goes on, but that's definitely a good start. Thanks for joining the Emergency Podcast here on Accurate Sports, and look forward to our next episode, which officially comes out on next Sunday. Till then, take care.